Yes, Stephen North MP, Ebenezer Kwekuado, he has been granted a bail of 150,000 Ghana cedis and banned from traveling outside Accra over attack on Naimo's team. Now, when NPP for Dodona Omo Ebofu Omo any angel home this 150,000 bail they ama Ebenezer Kwekuado no because Omo ntiase as compared to Omo kwafo chichi womo no uhe bill difference na just so papa ebi mu die twam millions of Ghana cedis ebi mu still now more 150k ebi mu within the thousands na just money enje ho because we here edubuahen as you can see on your screens edubuahen any others omo de 300 million Ghana cedis any bill ye ama omo we here former of stock CEO Hanan any Abdul Hanan, any Nigerian so and also 150 million Ghana cedis, and no any bail conditioner, ye de Emma Omo, gift your worry, and also deputy NSS boss, and also 10 million a year Ghana cedis, and I de a bono as bail, and Osayesibe, and also former NSS boss, director, and also 800 million Ghana cedis bill, and I de a bono, chairman to me, and also 10 million Ghana cedis bill, and ye de bono. And I call yes, see NDC near NDC aban so yache no bill like the man on the 150,000 Ghana cedis now way and NPP for do na any ensure that enye ho ama a general secretary for a year NPP Justin Kodua de ensemble about the fact that bill conditions are the ma a year NPP more appointees former appointees are actually it was so pa to the tune of some of them cry double as the amount I did see Flagstaff House and here could Justin Frimpong Kodua General Secretary for the NPP and some of the two about bill conditions are.
You recall that the New Patriotic Party had to cause a complaint against government-sponsored harassment and persecution of our members. The party held demonstration and numerous press conferences on the matter, reminding President John Mahama and his government that we are a nation of rule of law and asked the NDC government to put a stop on their continuous weaponization of the state security and the judiciary against political opponents. Unfortunately, all our calls have fallen on deaf ears, but as a party, we shall not back down on our resolve to fight this injustice. It is increasingly concerning that the state security agencies continue to flout with impunity the Constitution of Ghana, particularly Article 14, on the grant of bail to persons arrested or detained. Our Constitution requires that persons who are arrested or detained be brought to the court within 48 hours or be released either unconditionally or on reasonable conditions as may be necessary to ensure that they appear at a later date for their trial. Thus, an accused person who is not tried within reasonable time is entitled to bail, irrespective of the nature of the alleged offense. However, friends from the media, you will agree with me that in recent times, certain developments certainly suggest the worrying trend where members of the New Patriotic Party are detained beyond the lawful limit, subjected to unreasonable bail conditions, and effectively denied justice. This practice contravenes Section 96 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960, and the Supreme Court precedents, including one in Oko versus Republic and Matipebo versus Attorney General No. 2, which affirmed that bail should not be punitive or withheld merely as a punishment, and that bail condition must not be unreasonable or onerous so as to amount to a constructive refusal to grant it. This is anchored on the constitutional principle enshrined in Article 19(2)(c) that a person accused of committing an offense shall be presumed innocent until proven guilty. However, under President John Mahama's administration, a person is rather presumed guilty until the person proves his innocence. This is a shame to our democracy. That the presumption of innocence has now turned into whereby a person is presumed guilty for him or her to prove his or her innocence. We have seen how this government has conducted itself in the Rambo-style arrest and detention of members of the New Patriotic Party. Reference to Chairman Wuntumi, Edubuanye, Abdul Wahab Hanan, Gifty Owari, Osesibe, and a host of others. Even more troubling is the perception that the judiciary has been compromised, particularly following the unlawful removal of our Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Justice Araba Tokonu. The New Patriotic Party believe that this has created an atmosphere of fear among judges and undermined judicial independence. For instance, how can a judge, in the face of the law and the constitutional principle of presumption of innocence, set bail conditions for one accused person to the tune of 800 million Ghana cedis? To the tune of 800 million Ghana cedis, which is even more double the amount the state spent in the construction of Jubilee House. Double the construction of Jubilee House, 800 million Ghana cedis. This is indeed very ridiculous. Doesn't this effectively amount to denial of bail, which the law speaks against? Judges generally, under His Excellency John Mahama administration, fear to dispense justice according to the law, because they fear that they may also suffer the same fate as Justice Tokonu. Judges are now telling us that we are not equal before the law, and are even quoting dictators like Idi Amin of Uganda to justify the unlawful detentions of citizens in our democracy.
All right, so that was a NPP General Secretary in Samoa, or they about the fact that bail conditions are they ama NPP for no do a bail denial, and do also stress as a nipa no ye bua no for awie na the punishment and a de ama no no ultimately sika no esoso pa eno ene Samoa General Secretary for the New Patriotic Party, or they ebetu dra. Now moving forward, you call Nigeria. Regina Daniels